Let's see what happens. I did some tube testing on this Arvin 402A, and the 50L6 tube, assuming it was a 50L6 tube, was no good. It's like the filaments were open on it. Doing some testing, but again, I can't even validate it was a 50L6 because the tube wasn't marked. But I'm going to go ahead and make some connections here with the tubes checked, and I'm going to try to bring the radio up on the Variac slowly and see what we get. So first thing I want to do, I'm not sure, this is probably not even showing up on camera. This is my hand drawing here. I'm going to hook up my voltmeter and just look at the plate voltage, and again, I'm not sure what to expect here because I haven't done the calculations to see what the plate voltage should be, but we'll just look for some DC here on pin 7 of that 12AT6 that's been installed, and then I'll go over to my floating ground location, which will be number 4 or 2. So this tube should be easy to disseminate from the underneath side here. There's no connections here to the diodes 5 and 6. So get down in here and just do a deeper. Okay. By the way, I'm not sure if you guys have seen these clips on the market or not, but they're really, really nice. They're I think they're made by PCX. They're called parrot clips. So I recommend you get some if you're going to do this type of thing. Works perfect for getting on these leads. Okay, it should be 7. And I'm just looking back at my documentation. 654. This should be the floating ground here. All right. Try to bring the radio up here. We'll plug it in. Turn it on. I'm going to just turn the volume wide open. Again, we'll go over to the DC side. We'll flip on the Variac. And see what happens. Okay, I'm about 51 volts. .12 amps of current. So let's look at the schematic here. Looks like I should be reading somewhere around at 115 volts. This radio should consume about 25 watts, and again, that was based on the original design with 3 tubes, so I would assume the wattage will be a little higher with the 4 tubes. Alright, looks like I'm sitting at about 0.10 amps of current, and looks like I'm starting to make some DC voltage. Hard to believe the rectifier is actually working with that low of an input. Let me go back here. I'm around 51 volts. Let's bring it on up. .55, 56. That's music to my ears. I can't believe that. I'm actually hearing no stations, but static or noise out of the radio. You guys can probably pick that up, maybe, I'm not sure. But you can see the DC voltage climbing as well. And I'm at 55.8 volts. Let's see. My amperage is still at 0.11 amps of current, and that would give me about 6.2 watts. Alright, I'm going to leave it there just for a minute. I'm kind of nervous about bringing this thing up anyway. Old electrolytics, old wax caps that could be shorted, and that could create some other issues for the radio. Let's watch it here for a minute. So the DC voltage is pretty consistent here at 25 volts, and my line voltage remains at 55. Let's go ahead and bring it up another 10 volts to about 65. And see if the DC voltage ramps up somewhat as well. Yeah, you know, my volume control is not making any difference at all on all this noise I'm hearing. That's turned counterclockwise and fully clockwise.
Their newest division,
Oh man.
brings the Roby family of companies full circle. From building your dream home to buying your dream home.
Okay, we're pulling in a station here. A lot of noise and static though. And that's probably just the bad caps, and who knows how the resistors are as well. Alright, I'm at 65 volts. Let me check the current here one more time. I'm at 0.14. It's going up to about 75 volts. And we'll just watch the current there again. I'm about 0.16 amps. And you can see the DC voltage as well ramp up just a little bit.
They're all clouds at times from this morning to the afternoon with a high eventually near 72. A low tonight down to 52 under a clear.
Yeah, not much action there on the dial.
News Talk 11.
Beautiful and totally seductive. Let's talk. I'm Samantha for Indian Motorcycle Charlotte. If you crave smooth...
Okay, there's the local station here. See the volume turned down just a little bit here again. We're at 0.16 amps. I'm going to go ahead and... Hey, some of the static has quit.
Power. Make women swoon. And a strong...
I don't know if that's because the DC voltage itself got to a certain point where it was happy, or just the leaky capacitors. There's the noise back again. Alright, with the AC currents remaining steady, I'm going to go ahead and bump this thing up another 10 volts. Let's take it to 85. '85, '86. And I would assume this plate voltage that we're seeing is low, and that's probably due to the electrolytic capacitors being used up. They're probably dry as can be. I would think this voltage would be closer to, 80 to 100.
All at little or no cost to you. We'll even bill Medicare and your insurance for you. And if you don't experience less pain, we'll pick them up.
The good thing is I'm getting something out of this thing. some good old motor boating as well. Notice when I'm adjusting the volume control here on how it impacts the plate voltage as well. So with the volume all the way down. Okay. Alright, brought this up to 95 volts.
We expect.
Oh, okay. So, you want everybody to have tickets so you can see how much seating.
My antenna is nothing but just a small fine wire coming off of the antenna coil.
Before the break, we had Adam Stevens. You can call him at 704-341-32.
You know, the selectivity on these old TRF sets are not very good anyway, so not expecting miracles here.
Worldwide. Yeah, Not Anglia Education, as I said just previously, is a great. So nice. But inside that is organizations and events to raise funds to support a multitude of
Okay, let's
good
go ahead and
causes
bring
around
this
the world.
thing up.
To connecting with each other on a more personal level, connecting with children in China and in Singapore. Our children come in the morning, and one of the first things they say is, when do we get to go online? Because I've got a message out to some friends I've made from our school in Cambodia, and I'm waiting for them to respond back to me. Obviously, the time delay means that it's a little bit slower conversation. However, we do put them onto Skype with them, and that sense of global network is really...
Okay, I'm about 0.24 amps of current, and you can see I'm right at 115 volts AC input, and about 26 watts. So the radio itself said 25 watts. I'm not surprised, because we've introduced a fourth tube to the design.
And that gives us the opportunity to bring...
So anyway, hey, I know at least we got potential now. I had already checked the coils to make sure they were good. Again, found that one bad 50L6 tube, and then I still want to spend some time looking at the DC resistance of that output transformer, the old one that appears to be defective, and make sure it is really defective, and get this thing recapped. So hey, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this video down. It's been long enough, but anyway, you got to see the initial turn up on this little Arvin 402A from 1940.